Hey guys, Chris here from Side Photo. Today is an English video. I want to talk to you about a couple lenses that I really enjoy that I've had from Sony. Maybe one of them you haven't really ever heard of. The first one is the Sony 85mm 1.8, which is one of my favorite lenses. I love the 85mm focal length. You can do a lot of things with full frame and they look amazing. And you can also use them on APS-C sensors, which is the crop sensor, and you get 1.5 times of 85, whatever that's going to be, 120 something, 130 millimeter. And it won't be a 1.8, but you'll still get a lot of compression because it's a longer lens and stuff. So it looks really great. Sony lenses are really expensive compared to other lenses, and they also come with a lot more features. So this one has a manual and autofocus on and off switch, and it has a button that you can program within most of your cameras to do something special. So you can, change focus settings. Like you could probably do animal and human eye autofocus, or you can do hold focus, or you can do many different things. You can even do ISO and stuff like that on that. Another lens that I got a number of years ago is the Sony f2 28mm lens, and it is really small. Look how small it is. It works really well on gimbals. It works really well in a lot of different situations, and it is a wider lens. It's not the widest lens you can get, but for what it is, it's a very decently priced lens. I'll put the price of both of these at this time period on Amazon, up on the internet, I'll put the price of both of these that you can find on the internet, and maybe even locally here in Cambodia up in the video here so you can see. Really great lenses. I've used both of them for a lot of things. The 28 is also really good for, I use it a lot for portrait photography as well, but I love portraits with the f1.8 85mm. It is one of my favorite lenses, very favorite lenses by far. It has this really nice hood that it comes with that I never take off, and the reason why I keep hoods on lenses is because many times I don't have the caps on the lens, and when I put them in my bag, I put them in upside down, and it's normally attached to my camera. I put it in upside down in the bag, and so then this part never, the lens elements or the UV filter or whatever never ever touches on the bottom of the bag because of the lens filter. It also helps with, it looks cooler in my experience, it looks cooler in my opinion, and so I keep the filters. So it comes with this hood, and I never take the hood off. And the reason why I never take the hood off, except for when I clean it, is because I like to protect my camera. So when it's on my camera and I put my camera into the bag, the lens elements or the UV filter or whatever I've got on the front of the lens is never going to touch the bottom of the bag. And sometimes even I'll put a GoPro or something like that in the bottom of my bag, and it'll hardly be able to touch because of this hood. So I do like to keep a cap on there as much as I can. The other one that I like a lot, like I was saying before, is the f2 28mm lens. It's really small, really handy. I've used this on the A7R3, the A7 III. It also works really well on the crop sensor lens. Instead of getting 28mm, you're going to get, 14 times 3 is like 42mm, which is really nice. So I use these lenses both for a lot for photography and for video. When I use it for video, sometimes I'll even use the crop factor in my A7 III, my A7R III, in order to get that extra little bit of zoom, and I still get a 4K output in the video. And so with the 85 we'll get a longer lens, which is nice, and with the 28 I'll also get a decent lens as well. Recently I just bought two lenses that I'm really excited about, and I want to show you today. One of them I bought about 6 or 7 months ago at Camera Hut. It's the Viltrox 24mm f1.8. It's an FE lens, so that means it's for Sony Full Frame E-mount. And this lens has been quite an excellent lens. I bought this lens before I took a trip to Africa, and I did a lot of video, mostly video in Africa, and this guy was sweet. 1.8 is a really great aperture for a lens. It's cheap like this. This one, it's got the sticker on it. It says I bought it for $329. I might have even gotten a discount because Camera Hut is a great supporter of our videos and our video production. So anyways, I love this lens. There is a couple things that are a little bit irritating about it that I'll tell you about, but overall, it is a great lens. Let me see where I put it because I've totally forgotten. I know I put it down here somewhere. Yo, where's the lens? So here's the lens here. There are a couple things that are a little bit irritating about it. I'll get just a little bit close here. It is a 1.8 lens, but it has a, what do they call it? An aperture, the aperture ring here. So you can open and close the aperture from this ring right here. But sometimes as you're turning the lens onto the camera, you can actually bump that ring. Sometimes when you're putting it in your bag, you bump that ring. And so sometimes you're gonna end up being at f16, which is not where you wanna be a lot of times when you're starting out. And so it messes up your camera settings, and you got to remember to put it back to automatic or to choose the aperture that you want right here on the ring. And you can see it. I don't know if I can show it from here or not, but you can see the aperture grow bigger and smaller. No, you can't, because it's an automatic lens. Take it back. This lens is really solid. I like it a lot because it's got some weight to it. I know that carrying camera equipment can get very heavy very quickly, but I do like it when the lenses that are provided or the lenses that I buy are solidly made. And I would say that the Viltrox makes a very solid lens. It feels like it's all metal construction. And because of that, like even the zoom feature is very smooth and nice. I love it. It feels great. So if you're into manual focus, it works very smoothly and very nicely. And so I would suggest to give it a try. There are a few things that are quite annoying about the lens that I don't like. One of those being the hood. Sometimes the hood gets stuck. I heard that the same happens with most of the Viltrox lenses, and sometimes people, when they go to put it on or they go to take it off, it gets stuck in an awkward position. They feel like they're going to break it. I've felt like that many times when I take it on and off because it just is so tight and weird. I don't like that about the lens, but like I said before, I keep all of my hoods on all the time because when I put the camera in the bag, normally I'm carrying 2 or 3 cameras with me. I go to put it in the bag. If I don't have the cover for the lens goes down in the bag and it's going to hit whatever is there, but most of the time, because of the hood, it is protecting. So I would suggest this lens. I love it. I'm going to show some photos that I've taken with the lens. Because it's a 24mm lens, it is a wide angle lens. In fact, some people say that this 24mm is a little bit wider than a true 24mm, which is nice because I like having a wide angle. I'm not worried about vignetting, so if you are worried about vignetting, maybe you should check out some of the photos and see if you like it or not. I tend to like vignetting because I'm a portrait photographer, so that makes things a little bit different for me. I haven't had very much difficulty with it using it for video. For video it does crop down a little bit, and that's because video is a 16:9 ratio instead of 4:3, which is what Sony is shooting in at 24 megapixels. Actually, this camera A7 IV is 33 megapixels. So I do also use this in my A7R3, and I will punch in to get the APS-C crop on some of the photos, so I can use it to get a little bit more zoomed in, I guess you could say. Now you can actually take it in the full frame mode and crop in, and you're going to have a similar effect, so you can do that as well. But I like to zoom in sometimes, and when you zoom in with a 40 megapixel camera, you do get like a 20 megapixel image. So this is a really great lens. I love it so much, and it's not Sony, it's Viltrox. Viltrox is from China, and some people have bad feelings about China. I don't. I really enjoy a lot of the products that I get from there. So this is a really solid product. Because of this product and because of my love for the 85mm that Sony makes, I decided that I was going to consider purchasing the Viltrox 85mm 1.8. This is the second version of the full frame lens made by Viltrox. It's got autofocus. It's a prime lens just like the 24. And I'm excited about it. It also has another feature that is different from some of the other lenses, or maybe even is similar to some of the more expensive lenses, where it has a USB-C, sorry, it has a USB. It also has a function that's very similar to the other lenses that we would consider more professional lenses, where it has a USB connection so that you can connect it to your computer and you can update the firmware if there is need for that. Now, there is a place on the internet that is suggesting that you can update this firmware and get a 1.6 f-stop, which, I mean, seems kind of interesting to me. They say update at your own risk. Okay, so I think because I really like the idea of having a little bit larger aperture, that I might actually give it a shot and see if it's a possibility. So I'm excited about this, and this is what we're going to talk about today, and we're going to open today and see, is it as cool as I thought it would be? I want to tell you something real quick. So I'm shooting right now in my office. I've got some LED light tubes behind me. I got them at Global House. You can see the studio foam on the back there. I'm not sure that it really helps a whole ton with the sound in the studio, but I did get that for pretty cheap too. I think it was like $12 a sheet. I got 2 sheets of it. That's what I'm using in the background, and I've got the Cambodian flag here because we are in Cambodia and I really like it here. I've been here for 15 years. I am shooting with the Sony a7 IV. I'm using some more equipment that I got from America, and then also a V-mount setup that I got from Small Rig that was sold to me by my camera store in Phnom Penh, and I really enjoy a lot of what they have. That's where I got my 85mm Viltrox from today, and I'm pretty excited about that. And I'm shooting with the Amran lights by Aperture. In the front I have the 200D. It's at, I think it's at like 70% or something. I mean, it's kind of far away from me. Normally, I like to position it really close, and sometimes I get it down to like 5% or 2% because the lights are really strong and nice, but I do have a grid on this one, and I have a little bit of reflection going on here to help this side of my face. Also, I have in the background the Amran 200X, which is a multi-color light, and it's a little bit less powerful than the front light here, but you can adjust the color and get a lot of more exciting elements. You can match some of the colors in the room and stuff like that. So right now I'm shooting at 6500 Kelvin, and hopefully I'll be able to adjust the white balance. I think I put the white balance at 6500 Kelvin. I'm shooting with Rode Wireless Go system, Rode Wireless Go 2. It comes with 2 mics, and it did not come with a wireless lapel mic, which, like, to me really stinks. So I'm using my wireless lapel mic from the Ceramic Link that I have, that I still use also, and I'm excited about being able to use a wireless system because I don't really like to put microphones here. I think it looks really unprofessional. I am not a vlogger, and if I was, I wouldn't use these. Sometimes I do just out of necessity, but it really doesn't look nice. So I'm using a lapel mic, and I don't like also clipping the lapel mic here because when you clip a lapel mic, you look so ghetto and budget. So what I've done is I take medical tape and I just make an X, and then I put the mic in, and then I tape it to the shirt. So you can't see it here. Maybe you could if you tried. There's a tiny little bump here. Actually, the tape should go right here, and it would look really good. So as I'm moving around, you can see, maybe you can hear it now, it's stuck to my shirt. And guess what? Medical tape is gonna come off your shirt, and it's not gonna stick to my chest hairs, and it's not gonna make all these other problems. But medical tape is also very nice because if you did have to stick it to someone's skin, hello, you've got some options because medical tape is really good for that. So I carry around medical tape and I use it for my lapel mics very often because it's very easy. Good way to attach lapel mics because guess what? I want to look nice and I don't want to have my mic hanging around up here and looking very unprofessional in my opinion. So all you people who do that, you can try medical tape. It works really well.